FXB, welcome to my channel. So we're going to be fixing an iPhone 8 screen today. So we got the iPhone, the ID-52 in the background, having a listen here. We got it on Pi star reflector 1 Charlie D star. On the A band and on the B band we're listening to my All-Star node, which you can hear now, G7 RPG HubNet. So I'm just going to take you through step by step on how I do these phones. So my son has smashed his phone. Just show you here, it's hard to see, but it's smashed here, and even the camera part is fallen out and it looks pretty bad. So we're going to replace that. Now I've got this screen from eBay. It's not an original, it's just a copy, but it's better than nothing. So we're going to put it on. It was about, I think it was about £17 for the screen. It's a lot cheaper than having it done. So the first thing we do is remove these very hard to see, but these two screws either side of the charging port. That's the first thing we do. And what I do is I put all the screws in this special place so I don't get lost where the screws go, and that's really important. And this is the kind of item we use, or tool we use, to remove those things. Sorry about the blur. So I can see what I'm doing, I use these magnifying sort of glasses. I always lay it on a sheet of paper. That's what I tend to do to stop it from being scratched.
This is GW3 TVA Tango Victor Alpha. Living in West Wales. I haven't heard you for a while, Ken. How are you?
So the screws are out, and I put them in their place.
Anyway, yeah, other than talking to me.
So we need to sort of pull off this screen. We've taken the screws out, and it actually pulls like a book. It pulls from the left up. But the problem is you have to sort of bring it down a touch first before it'll go up, because there's a couple of latches here. But the first thing we'll do is loosen it, and the way you do that is you put this plastic thing in the gap here, put a couple in and leave them in there, and you carefully pry it up and loosen it all the way around. You can't pull it too high because it will break the ribbons underneath, and you'll see that when it comes off. So it's a little bit fiddly. You've got to take your time. You can warm up the outside because of the glue sealant with a hairdryer. Just be really careful not to get it too hot. I wouldn't use a heat gun like professionals do. I just use a hairdryer and just warm it a bit, and then it will lift a bit easier if it's a bit stiff. We are getting a GPS lock. If I turn off the scope like so, and look, there's our GPS lock, see that? And if we hit quick, we can go position. If we go back, information. The satellites aren't showing, so we're not quite getting a lock. They might, see, they briefly showed up there. It's not great when you're indoors, is it? There you go. They are trying to show up. Right, back to the phone. Right, so we've gone all round. We pull it with this, and look, we've gone down just about 3 mil, and then look, it'll open up now. Once it opens up, then you can get to the screws. Now at the top, it's for the camera and the LCD, and lower down here, what I do before I take the other screws off, I'll disconnect the battery by lifting up there's about 3 screws here. You do need a special screwdriver that fits these. They're very inexpensive. It's a mixture of a sort of, they call it a pentalope screwdriver, and then I can use a mini one like this. So yeah, so we'll get all these screws out, we'll get these panels off. First thing battery, then take it off, and then we've got to swap all the contents of this screen, which is basically the home button here and the camera and microphone speaker, onto the new screen, which at the moment has nothing. So that's a bit fiddly, doable but fiddly. Okay. These are the screwdrivers that we're using for the iPhone 8. And we're using my trusty 52 to stop the screen from falling off. So first panel off, let's get the battery disconnected. That's crucial to stop things from breaking when you remove other connectors. That's the battery off, and now the LCD screen, which is here. And there's another connector underneath. You'll see now the bottom part would lift away now. Now we just got to do these ones here. I think it's 3 screws. Alright, that's the panel off here. So we've got a couple of tabs here to remove. Actually, it was just the one. So the screen is now off now. And I've sort of placed the screws where I'll remember them, so we don't mix them up. So we can now move away the main unit, and then we've got the old screen, and then the new screen, and we need to start swapping things over. So let's get it the right way round. So it's the home button, actually that's upside down. The home button, swapping these over, and then the camera stuff. It is fiddly. You know, if you're ever going to do this, watch a video close up how to do it. I'm just messing around while I'm playing radio. So first of all, we're going to move these 4 screws to take off the speaker and the camera. And for this, I think I can use a normal screw like this, screwdriver like this. Yeah, so we've got the cover off.
Whoa, look at the smoke coming over that. Whoa, look at that. Take it off quick. Looks a bit. Yeah, that's warm.
There's your speaker.
But I generally charge. Normally what I do is I take.
It goes that way round.
I've got a habit of this. Batteries, if I'm not using them in a radio or whatever, especially like your handheld, they're wedged.
So the camera's off, and there was a little screw here also holding it on. We've also got to remove this back plate. It's got 6 screws, 3 on each side. That's the back plate off. Covers come off for the home button, which is here. So we need to get the home button and the back plate back on, and the camera and speaker, probably microphone as well, onto the screen. So it's a lot cheaper to buy it all complete, of course, or get someone else to do it. You've got a little tab to remove here for that connects the home button. Just here. See that? You lift it over, hit this one, and then this lifts up out the way, and then the home button just drops out. The hard bit is unsticking the ribbon from the case. Might have to warm it up, and you probably need to use like a razor blade underneath it without cutting it. So we're starting to put the rear metal case on now, or cover. Then it'll be the home button. Camera on. Kids, grandkids back. And we're going to put the home button in now. It all goes up through like that. Then you clip the little connector together. It sort of folds down here, goes downwards. Sort of like that. And then you put the cover on. There's the cover, and there's 4 screws. Okay. Bottom one's on, top one's on. Now it's a matter of reconnecting the whole lot to the base. Radio's gone a bit quiet at the moment. There's actually only 3 connectors. 2 there and 1 here, but then you've got to put the cover plates on. But we'll test it first. So that's the top connector on and the bottom 2. Now we're just gonna fold it over like so. I'm gonna hit the we'll have to put the battery connector back on so we can just fire it up, and then we'll actually take that off again when we put the top covers on, because we don't want to short anything out. But let's try and fire it up. So the on-off button's here. Not sure if we've got any charge in there. Right, let's just get hold of it a bit better. So we tested it, it did come on, but we had to hard reboot it. And the way you do that is you push the volume up, the volume down, and then you hold your finger on the on-off button on this side, on the right-hand side. So up, then down volume, then let go of the, don't hold on to the on-off button, and it rebooted, and then the screen worked then. Now we're just putting the covers back on. So at the top here, and then the cover here in a minute. The battery is disconnected at the moment. We'll put that back on just before we add the last cover. And we will check all these connectors are nice and tight. Okay, so we'll finish now, but yeah, we've clipped the front back on, as you can see. It's all working fine. And yeah, the ID-52, you know, fantastic radio. You know, what's better? The 52, the 74, the FT5, you know, everyone likes different things. The 52 is quite a big radio, but it's packed with features. It has dual D-Star receive A and B band simultaneous, and you hear the audio. You don't get that with the FT5. But the FT5 is a nice, neat little package. Works great on C4FM, quite a wide band receiver. Very nice to use, very nice to hold. Good audio, as is the 52 is a good audio. The 74, you know, it receives HF, and it works Bluetooth with its programming software, but they discontinued it, and that's going to put people off. But the good thing about these expensive transceivers is they hold their value quite well. So yeah, you do lose a third once you've bought one, but they hold the value quite well. And if you think about what the cost is of something like an iPhone or Android, you know, a new Android phone, and these are, you know, these have the ability to transmit a 70 centimeter, 2 meter signal. So it's all relative. These are coming out of 520, which is actually less than I was expecting. I don't think it's too bad. It would have been nice if they could just do the 499 and chuck in a desk charger, wouldn't it? But anyway, so I hope you enjoyed this video. It's just me tinkering as usual. M0FXB, catch you on air, 7-3.